And together we're LD Top of Mind.
LD Top of Mind.
That's right. So we're going to get started with Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, Episode 3, called Bygones. So we started off with Unique. He's back from the dead.
Back from the dead.
And then he finds the drug dealers that he was doing business with. They own a restaurant shop. The name was Richard and Sonny. And he found them in the alley and told him to come back inside. And he had to get the drugs, got some drugs from him. And he also took a wad of money from him, right? So then after that, he said, once you in, you all the way in. And once you out,
you're all the way out.
Pop, pop. So he got rid of them two. And then we went on to Jukebox. So Jukebox, she ran away from the army. So she eating
She went AWOL.
She went AWOL. So she eating with her dad. But I'm pretty sure the army will show up. And we'll talk about
she
that.
She didn't run far. I'm like, how you go AWOL and go to your daddy house? Like, they didn't even have to look for her. Like, they just gonna go to her daddy house. There she is eating some Cheerios or something.
Yeah. And then on the next one, moving on, Kanan went to his grandmom, and his grandma has cancer. So Kanan is pretty much taking care of his grandma right now.
The problem is she doesn't want anybody else in the family to know.
Right.
So he have to have this big secret, and he don't know what to do with that. It's a lot, especially for a kid.
Yeah. Well, because she, from what Rock and Lou and Marvin claim, that she wasn't a good mother to them, right? So she doesn't know how to tell her kids that she has cancer and that she won't be living too long because it's too far gone.
But she also feels like if they cared, they would be calling her and coming around, and they don't. So that's another thing. She doesn't want their sympathy nor pity.
True. And then we're gonna move on to the next. Lou is starting a record label again. He's still dealing with AA. So he found a guy, Real La, in prison that he was searching out, and so he got with the record exec, and they was able to bond him out of jail. But however, Real La, he doesn't have any family to go to, so Lou took him in. He's staying with Lou now, and they trying to build a relationship, get Real La back on a label that Lou is with. Like Lou is acting as an AR, right? So we're going with that. To the next one. So now we found out of the connect. So it's another connect, and they're trying to find out who killed. So now Rock and Marvin are trying to find out who killed Sonny and Richard at the Chinese restaurant. So they getting together, and then Rock tells her brother Marvin, hey, by the way, you got the cops looking for you. So Marvin, like, man, I got the feds looking for me. So he kind of got a chill and lay low a little bit. And then so telling Rock what happened. They trying to find a new supplier and all of that. And then all of a sudden, Marvin looks worried. He's real worried. Unique is walking out of the building. Unique walks out of the building that Kanan stays in, and then he runs into
Kanan's girlfriend.
He
bumps into her.
Right, he bumps into Crystal, and then Crystal was like, watch where you go.
Yeah, excuse you.
Soon as Kanan turned around,
she like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I bumped into you. You didn't do nothing to me. All is forgiven. Just keep walking.
Unique looking real scary right now because he got a big gash on his forehead, right? A big scar on his forehead. And dude is mighty hot. He's mighty angry, right? So then Rock goes to explain to the supplier, and finds out that the murder supplier. So they go to the supplier, then find out that Sonny and Richie are gone, right? They were money laundering, so she's still trying to find out things. In the meantime, while she's trying to find out things, trying to reach cops, she sees a letter, finds a letter, or the letter was mailed to her.
From the high school that Kanan goes to. And she said, what's with this letter?
You
What's
know,
this letter?
Mom,
How
you
come you
know.
didn't call? Well, how come you're not going to school? You need to go to school. All these
So,
things I do and money I pay, you need to go to school.
so she found out she didn't really talk to Kanan yet, but she will get to it. And it's the letter says that he's been absent from school. So now real law and Lou, they trying to get a contract agreement from Seinfeld. He called him Seinfeld, but so Seinfeld says that, hey, nobody would give me a chance because of his religion, right, or because his nationality. And Seinfeld is trying to explain to Real Lie, and Real Lie really not trying to hear it. He like, look, man, I need some money. You holding out. I did a album for you, and where's my money? You didn't treat me right. But then Seinfeld comes back and says, dude, I bailed you out of jail not once but twice, and you acting reckless out here. So he did a long speech with him, and then they finally squashed the beef, and that Lou was in the middle of it and helped him squash the beef. So now Real Law is back on the label that he was on before he went back to jail.
Yeah, because he a hothead.
Yeah, yeah. So now Rock is trying to still find out who killed Sonny and Richard. So all of a sudden, Khan comes in. Khan is a supplier for Rock, and Rock Khan comes in like, man, you ain't found him yet. And Lou was like, I mean, not Lou. Rock was like, we don't want to kill the wrong person.
Yeah.
And then Khan was like, you better find someone, or I'm gonna start killing people. And then, Rock pissed off. She like, man,
That's
this.
reckless. You got to do things right. You can't just go killing just anybody. That ain't the way things are done.
So, so now Rock is also mad because he want to raise the rates or raise the prices up on the drugs now. So now we go on to the next scene, and then we go with back to Real and L'Oreal. So they both doing their thing, and then L'Oreal and Lou trying to tell L'Oreal like, man, let's get back in this game. You gotta stay out the streets. You gotta change your lifestyle. And L'Oreal, so far, he's down with that. And then Marvin, he bust up in Sonny and Rich's nephew house because he thought that the nephew killed his uncle and auntie, right? So he was like, man, I ain't do it,
He's like, I love them.
I love them. And then plus, what Marvin didn't know is that Sonny and Richard had a daughter, so they don't know where she's at. But I guarantee, I hope Unique don't find her first. So next, Rock is looking for her son, and at school, and then it's like, no, Rock goes over
To his apartment.
to his apartment, and Crystal answered the door, and she said, "When I'm where my son at, and then she like, I want my son to, make sure he get in contact with me. It's about school." And
And
Crystal
Crystal
like,
just had an attitude.
are you asking me
Or are you
up?
telling me? I'm like, you scared of Unique, you better be scared of Rock.
Yeah, Rock don't
Okay.
play. Rock don't play. So also it's Kanan and Jukebox. They meet up in the in a nice little restaurant or whatever, and they talking and they talking about where Famous at, and Famous might be Famous was a rapper as well, and where he had in that was Kanan's best friend or whatever, but he might be talking to the cops.
But I mean,
So
a lot happened between Kanan and Famous
yeah,
in the last season. So
yeah,
they not best friends anymore. I mean,
yeah,
Famous even feel like he can't even trust Kanan because Kanan, came at him real aggressively
yeah,
the last time and kicked him out the apartment.
Kicked him out the apartment.
So I
Yeah.
don't blame Famous. He should lay
Yeah.
low.
And then Famous also got caught up by the cops for a murder that he did too. So
But of
they
course,
feel
that's
like
why
he
they
be
looking
talking.
for him because is he talking to the cops? So that
Is
makes
he
sense.
talking to the
Yeah.
cops? And then Kanan just kind of do a bypass and just say, hey, or is Jukebox, is she okay? And Jukebox, she going through it, left the army and figuring out her life, sexual problems. But she say she in the clear. She say she wide awake. She is wide awake now. She ain't sleep no more. So in the next scene, Earl, who was helping out Unique came in to Earl. Earl is a mechanic, and he came into the shop and was like, here goes some money for you. So Unique, he was told, Earl was told by Marvin before Unique even came into the shop that somebody killed like two people in this Chinese restaurant. So Earl, like, man, Unique, you giving me this money. Where you get this money from? I hope you ain't killing people in the restaurant. And then Unique is pretty like, man, Earl said, Unique, you playing with fire. And Unique turned around and said,
I am fire.
So then it goes on to the next scene where it was good that finally Lou, he's in AA now, and he went through his 30 days, and he was talking about some real deep stuff, how he didn't really love himself, right? He wanted to off himself, right? But then he looked in the mirror and realized that he is important and that he do love himself again. And Rock was in AA with him while he was saying that, and Rock really didn't know that he had those type of feelings that way. But Lou is still working at it, still trying to focus on music and try and get his life together and trying to get that together. So now we go over to where everybody's at the house, to where I'm sorry, Unique now goes over to his house and he sees his kid and his wife. The wife is putting the baby to sleep. So instead of Unique, knocking on the door talking about I'm home, he just pretty much just put some money in the mailbox. And he didn't knock on the door. I don't know why he ain't knocking on the door. He still wanted everybody to think he did. So he can just rebuild what he lost.
He can kind of move in silence. You know what I mean?
Silence,
Everybody think he's dead. So.
And then finally, the whole family got together. Rock, Marvin, Jukebox, Kanan, Lou. Got together with their mom house, and they was wondering, like, Kanan and Jukebox was like, man, grandmom seemed kind of off, like something not right with her. And everybody was sitting at the table breaking bread, and she just finally said, I have cancer. And Rock got kind of emotional with it, and it's a high stage,
Stage 4.
And it's no going back from that. So Rock was kind of emotional and kind of like stormed off. And but she stormed off because she was like hurt, can't believe that mom is going on. But they will probably talk about that in the next episode. But I just wanted y'all to know it was on the top of our mind, just putting y'all on a little bit something else, a little gangster stuff, that I like watching. That's my show right there. And I'm a I might talk about it again. We'll see what happened. I might talk about episode 4 or maybe episode 5.
Yeah, that's what's
We'll
up.
see.
If you like it, put it in the comments and tell us to keep on doing the reviews of Power.
Yeah. That was my first review I've ever did, so I wanna get my friends on to something different, so until next time, be true to yourself.
Give you just due to yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Remember to like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you can always be notified of all of our new videos and when we go live.
All right, till next time, friends.
Till next time, friends.